All right, so getting started, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna quickly sweep the floor and we're gonna sand the floor with some 220 sandpaper. I got it on a sanding block here. Then we're gonna come in and we're gonna use TSP. We're gonna clean the floor with TSP, trisodium phosphate. Okay, I've got my Wise Owl stain eliminating primer. It's got great adhesive quality, stir it up real good before you put your coats down. I'm using a dense foam roller so I give a real smooth finish. During the priming process, if you notice that your grout is chipped in any areas, you can take a little bit of caulk, just caulk that area, fill it in, smooth it out with a finger or a little bit of a wet rag, and it's gonna make your grout look great. Then just prime over top of it and you're back on track. Okay, we let our primer dry overnight. We're ready for our base coats. We're gonna be applying 2 coats of Wise Owl 1 Hour Enamel Antique Villa. We're gonna do it in the same way that we did the primer, using the dense foam roller and a brush to cut in the edges. The floor and baseboards have been base coated, and now I'm gonna mask off the baseboards. I made a sample ahead of time using these beautiful Wise Owl colors. It's gray linen is my light color and peppercorn is my dark color. Because my tile floor has a slight texture to it, I'm choosing to use a brush. It's going to give me a tighter edge than using a roller. So I'm using a 3/4 inch stencil brush. And when you use a stencil brush, remember, you don't want to dip it all the way in. Just get the tip of the brush into the paint like so, and then take off some, it's called palleting the brush, and don't have too much paint on it. And that's how you load the brush. I'm gonna use a little spray adhesive on this stencil. It helps to really get tighter edges. So I'm gonna take it outside, put a few light coats on the back of the stencil, and then we'll be ready to go. Center your stencil on the tile. Wow, beautiful. Okay, the stenciling is done and the floor turned out great. It's time to pull the masking tape, do a few touch-ups, and apply 3 coats of top coat to protect this beautiful floor. I'll be using Wise Owl 1 Hour Enamel Clear Satin as my top coat. It's going to dry crystal clear and be rock solid. I'm using a staining pad to apply this. It's going to leave a really smooth finish. Didn't this tile floor makeover turn out great?
This is a boring, it's a beige builder tile, it's a ceramic tile, it's a 12-inch tile, and so this is a standard in a lot of homes, and we're going to show you how to add a little bit of paint and pattern to this. So to kick off this project, you're going to be using TSP. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to clean your tile floor. The key to stenciling a floor is to make sure that you have properly prepped and to make sure that your paint can adhere to the tile surface. So you really don't want to have any dust or debris. Then you're going to take some blue painter's tape and you're actually going to tape off the trim around the tile. So if you're doing this, let's say in a bathroom, and you have trim along the floor, you're going to take your blue painter's tape and you're going to tape off the floor. Next, you're going to prime your surface. So we love this primer. It's called Sticks Primer. It will stick to anything. So it is a great primer and it's perfect for a project like this. It is water-based, so it does wash off your roller. So that's why it's amazing for cleanup. So you're not going to have to deal with an oil-based product. And it really works very well. Okay, and now for this we're using Benjamin Moore Ben Line. It's a flat paint and it's Navajo White. And so once this had dried, now we're ready to move on to the stenciling portion. We are using the Callista stencil. This is our tile stencil. It's a beautiful pattern. For a project like this, you can use a little bit of spray adhesive. You could use painter's tape, but spray adhesive just helps hold the stencil in line. Then you're going to be able to position it on your tile, and it will not leave a residue. We're going to be aligning this on the onto the tile. There are grout marks onto this tile. Now, if we were doing a cement floor, or we were doing, let's say, a floor that had no grout marks, we would be using the registration marks, which are actually right over here. Do you see that right there? That's a registration mark. If we had no grout lines, we would have to take our stencil and we would be attempting to, oh, I can't do that right here. We would be attempting to line it up using our registration marks. But because we have a grout line, we're actually going to be using the grout line to line it up. And so we're just going to properly coat our roller, offload the roller onto the paper towel. We don't want to have too much paint onto our roller. So yeah, we offload it to make sure that there's not too much. And now we're going to apply our roller onto the tile stencil. But I'm going to peel this back so you guys can get an idea of what this is going to look like. Ah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Once our stencils have been painted, the next step to complete everything would be to apply a clear coat of paint onto the tile. We like to clear coat with, it's a Varathane polyurethane. It's a water-based product. This is going to seal in our design, it's going to seal in our paint, and then it's going to basically lock it in so that we can clean it, we can walk on it, and it's not going to get damaged. So now we've loaded up our roller with the Varathane. It's a clear coat, and it's hard to see, I know, this is a satin, but we're just going to be applying the clear coat onto the tile pattern. Our stencils do come with a grout line, so we actually have not painted the grout line. We left it white for this project before you applied the Varathane stain. If you did want to apply, if you did want to, change your grout, you could potentially, lay down the grout line, and then it would be as easy as taking a stencil brush, choose your grout color, and there you go. We would be colorizing our grout line. And so we just want to mention, now this is our 12-inch Callista. It's the large Callista stencil, and you can get that over at cuttingedgestencils.com.